minus 13, which leaves you at 20.
20. Okay. That's much better.
I'm at 11.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the show that never ends. It is once again time for the adventures of the fabulous, the fantastic, the mythical,
The whimsical.
and the whimsical.
Don't raise the standard.
It's the Glassbreakers Guild here, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back.
We really need like a glass breaking.
We do. I know, right? We so need to do that. And so we are back. We have the whole crew with us this evening. Everyone
Sorry I missed 2 weeks.
at the table. Everybody at the table. So yeah, there are a couple of things that you will note.
Hello.
Don't angle them towards my dice. Didn't see all the ones.
Just keeping track of
Right.
all of the natural ones that are going on here. We have a few 3D printed dungeon tiles because, as those of you who are regulars may remember, we left off at the foot of a dungeon or a shrine, depends on how you want to look at it. It is the shrine to Ubtao.
Yeah,
It is the shrine to Ubtao.
Did you see Frederick in the car? Did you bring him as well? Okay. I have to make a dice roll because Frederick has my blessed dice. Okay.
So we're still getting situated here. We're running a little bit late, but all will be well. All will be well. It is time once again for our weekly. Everyone's hoping that the random number generator is not going to choose them for the recap. And it goes to Miss Nat or Nix.
how we rolled low.
I just brought a notebook to take notes today.
Would you like to borrow mine?
Stephen has notes.
Oh, good.
My husband's good at taking
At least someone.
All right, so you guys can tag team it if you need to.
What?
And by tag team it, we mean Steven. Tell us what happened last time.
Mostly the thing I remembered is I almost died.
Seems pretty important.
Because I didn't mark where the day started.
Started.
We started just traveling for 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we had 2 days of travel, and on the night of the second day, we put our lovely Nix on watch that night, during which Nix and Bright
Distracted.
were
We're having girl
talking,
talk.
about their lives, and during their watch, there was a number of Grung, who are the frog people, snuck up on the camp. They surrounded Nix and Brightpaw. Brightpaw dashed away, leaving Nix to take a hefty amount of damage, and then Azaka Stormfang helped to save the day. We ended up clearing out the Grung, almost losing Nix in the process due to some unfortunate spell combinations.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Unfortunate.
And we ended up defeating the Grung. We tried to take poison from them. It didn't work. We moved down the river the next day. We were regaled the story of the crocodile on the man's back as we approached Camp Vengeance. No.
Righteous.
Camp Righteous. We arrived. We, I think, Sploof freed an Axebeak, who then joined its family in the jungle.
Braden, didn't you jump into the latrine?
Yes, I jumped into
Yes.
the
Jumped into
stream.
the
Yes.
shithole.
Oh, right.
Yes. And I came back
May
with
have
Jones.
contracted.
You gave me a what?
Look, I don't know what the Constitution roll was for, and it will later be determined is to be the cause that kills me.
So then we then approached the large statue of the man carrying the gator, who we were to find out was a depiction of a god, and we ended as we were entering in between the feet of the statue.
And there's my recap.
Well done, Nix. Well done.
Yeah, you did great.
Well,
Well done, indeed. So we do have the we have at least the portions of the map laid out there before you all. The dungeon tiles, which will serve to inform this first part of tonight's session. Sploof, do you remember what you remember? Okay, so just making sure that you remember what you remember. It's not always a given. It's not always a given that I will remember what I remember. So, okay, so you all are standing facing this statue that is built into the bluff by the river. The bluff is at 2 levels. It reaches up about 50 feet above the level of the river. The statue itself goes a few feet taller than that. It's probably about 60 or 70 feet tall. It is carved to look like a man with a crocodile on his back, peering over his head. Between his feet, as he's seated, there is an opening that goes deeper into the mountain. What are you guys gonna
May I
do?
do a perception check?
Sure.
Every time.
You can do a perception check. Anything you're looking for in particular?
Traps.
Ah. Okay.
I've been through a tomb in my day.
I laugh at traps.
18.
18. All right. Quite. That's very, very good. So the
Hey Keith, this ain't in chat. The audio is jittery.
audio is jittery. What does? I'm not 100% sure what that means, but we'll try this.
Probably cutting on it all.
Maybe shouldn't be. But we'll try this. Let me know if let me know if that helps, guys. If it doesn't, I'll make some more changes and we'll go from there.
Sounds like speaking into a fan.
Oh yeah.
Speaking into a fan.
Really choppy.
it's really shocking.
Okay. One more thing. Let me check one more thing real quick.
Didn't touch anything.
Are you sure, Brady?
I made sure this time.
You're still in closest contact.
Don't worry, Brady.
It's all your fault.
It's not you. It's me.
Wait, what?
All right. So we may lose audio here for just 1 second. I'm going.
That's also a pretty name. I should have a rat also named Prof.
Okay. So we should
Right.
now have audio back.
I already have a rat named
Now,
Prof.
if you guys will just sort of listen to that for me and make sure that it comes back better.
It's still pretty choppy.
Still pretty choppy.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Who was on the internet? Here.
We might need to
Yeah,
lower our
Yeah,
internet.
migrate off the internet if possible.
Yeah. Anybody on their
Emergency
phones
evacuation.
go to anybody on your phone go to just your data and not through
I'm
the
not connected.
I
yeah.
can't use
I
my
can turn
data,
it on.
but
I might want to check that because I don't know.
I will not.
Yes.
Yes,
The formal
I am.
attire says that sounds good to them, right?
Okay,
Okay,
so
good.
we'll just keep track on it, keep track of it for us, and hopefully this will work itself out. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I didn't have the data troubleshoot like I normally would. Okay, moving right along. So you guys are clustered right around here. This is the opening, the entrance. And the feet of the statue splay out to the sides of the passage like so. With your 18, as you're seeking along, you notice that this 10-foot by 10-foot area has all the earmarks of a trap door.
Oh, good.
Oh, great! Fantastic.
Everyone,
Does,
everyone, hold a moment. I'm going to go ahead and start casting ritually Tensor's floating disc, and just put it right over the top of that.
Okay.
what? So,
10 minutes.
just a side note. The poem was basically the story about
Yes.
man asked crocodile to cross river.
Do you want
cross
to
river?
Do you want a recap of that?
Please.
Okay. For those of you who were
Who were not
yes.
listening to
listening to Brightpaw, or for those of you who are now remembering back to Brightpaw's story,
Listening?
Kind of.
This is Brayden talking,
Doubtful.
not Elias.
Doubtful.
so Brightpaw, as you guys were approaching the camp, the sight of the statue reminded Brightpaw of a story from Shulton lore. In the early days of the world, man stood by the bank of a river, frightened. Crocodile raised his head from the water and asked, "What troubles you, cousin man?" Man said, "I must cross this river, but I fear to enter the water alone, because it teems with your brethren." Crocodile replied, "It's true, you would not be safe, but I will carry you across the river safely on my back, if you promise to return the favor." Man agreed, and Crocodile bore him safely across the water. When they reached the far bank, Man asked, "How can I repay you?" Crocodile replied, "I wish to see the realm of humans, but I fear to go there alone, because it teems with your brethren. You must carry me on your back across your realm." Man had been tricked, but a promise is a promise, so he carried Crocodile safely on his back across the entire realm of humans, a journey that lasted many years. He also swore in his anger that never again would men and crocodiles be friends, and so it has remained to this day.
And this is a shrine, correct?
At best you can tell, yes, it's a shrine.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the boat real quick
Okay.
and grab a crocodile skin.
Okay.
Quick note: did we camouflage the boats before we left them?
No, we did
We
not.
should maybe do that.
I'm on it. I mean, we've got 10
We have
minutes
10
while
minutes.
somebody casts a spell.
All right.
I'll move to do that.
So you'll move to do that.
I'll help you out.
So make me a deception check.
They're in alphabetical order. They should be easy. Okay, 17.
17. All right. So you're helping him.
Yes.
Okay. So between the two of you, you pull the canoes up out of the river and find a relatively thick area of underbrush that you are able to slide them under and camouflage with some of the deadfall. If you didn't know that they were there, you'd have a hard time seeing them even yourself.
Nice.
They're camouflaged both from the river and from the land side of the river bank.
Where did I see what I saw again?
It was on the ground between the camp and the shrine, and seems to go back and forth.
How recent was that?
Make a survival roll.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, not awful. 17?
17. It's been fairly recent, and quite a good number.
I'm gonna go over to my friend over here casting, and interrupt him because I'm a jerk. I'm gonna kind of yank on his
20 hours later.
Yes, Bloof.
I see signs that there were other greenies close by.
Oh, hold on.
And I'm not that mean. Never mind.
I'll roll it.
Nah, that's fine.
Concentration.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what concentration would be. Make an intelligence save.
Okay.
We'll call it that.
Oh.
You have an inspiration.
That's true. I might as well just spend it right after that.
I used to know how to do that in 5th edition. I'll look it up.
Usually concentration checks are Constitution. But
Well,
this one
that's if
makes
you
sense.
take damage.
Right. That's going to be 18.
18. Okay. For a moment, as your concentration is divided between the ritual you're trying to cast and Sploof dumping all of this information in your head that you weren't really looking to have, you feel the weave sort of start to throb and start to fray a little bit as you're trying to weave this spell, but you're able to grab it back and continue on with the spell. It will add a couple of minutes to your casting time. Anybody else? No?
Do I come back with a crocodile
What do you
skin?
mean by greenies?
Yeah. By this point, you will have come back with the crocodile skin.
If you're if you're in earshot, I just kind of.
I may return it.
I'm just gonna take off. Just let me know.
So.
We'll,
guess
we'll come back to you, Brayden.
a greenie.
Ah. Yeah.
I kind of look a little pained when I say it. I don't like to admit that I am one.
That's racist.
Well, I mean, she is trying to be evil. He is trying to be evil.
I'm terrible at it though.
Not if you thought about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elias,
Yes.
what would you like to do with your crocodile skin?
I'd like to put it on.
Okay, you don the crocodile skin.
Okay.
Yummy.
Symbolism.
You smelled poorly before.
It's like quiz, but opposite.
But I'm not a bear.
Okay, and once you've done that, what would you like to do?
I shall wait for the disc to appear.
Okay, so time passes.
I need to play
The-
bagpipes to help.
You finish your ritual, and your floating disc appears before you.
And now I have to wait, because if I move, the disc moves with me.
I will. Elias goes onto the dish and checks this area.
Okay, so which area?
So I know the trap's here, right?
Yes.
So I want to check here.
Okay.
This
Next
area.
one.
Make
Before I
a perception
land.
check.
Yes. 15.
15. Okay. The light coming in from outside doesn't penetrate very, very far into the shrine, and because of that, you're almost done searching that area when you realize that you almost missed 4 grooves in the wall
Oh.
that have the distinct look that maybe you don't want to be standing there when whatever's in them comes flashing out.
Oh, yeah.
I'd to light my lantern.
Okay, you can do so.
Okay, I do that.
The grooves are much more apparent now.
Oh, good.
How's it going over there?
Fine.
What's the hold
Totally
up?
fine.
What's the hold up?
Hey, Keith.
Trash.
Yeah.
So when I look down this tunnel,
Yes.
are the traps well hidden from me? Because the darkness doesn't
He's the
prevent
only
me.
one. He's the only one looking for them actively right now.
Okay.
I can send him.
So they're not obvious if you have a light. They're still hidden.
Yeah, they're still hidden. You still have to search for them. And right now, he's the one doing the searching.
Grooves. What kind?
They're just like. As you look at them, it's obvious that they sink back into the wall. You're not even with them to look in to see what.
Are we talking spikes or solids?
They run the full length, top to bottom.
Spikes.
Okay.
What? I think I did something wrong.
Excuse me, Elias. If you'd hold for a moment. Nix, come here, please.
What?
Just warn me if anything's coming, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my hand like right on top of your head, and my eyes are gonna glaze over, and I'm gonna go and into my owl's vision, and I'm
Okay.
going to fly him straight down the gambit.
Okay.
I'll allow this.
I'll allow it. Okay. So the owl flaps down across the area that did you tell them about?
Yes.
Okay. So he flaps over the area that Elias has said is the trap door. Gets to the next 10-foot by 10-foot section. And it's almost too fast to see. 4 flashes of sharp metal come flashing out of the walls and slash into Alberto, who takes
Have an owl
18 points of slashing damage.
I'm really glad that wasn't
I'm
that
having owl for
Die.
dinner
So do I see a puff of feathers?
Well, you see a puff of smoke
Okay.
and glitter because it's a fake creature.
Keith, I would like to go find a 10-foot stick.
Yes. Yes.
Make me an investigation check.
Snake?
Stick.
Oh, stick.
That might
So
be
we're
a
going to
snake.
poke it.
Yeah.
Yep. When in doubt, poke it.
6.
Oh.
Funnily enough, there are not any 10-foot branches around.
Oh,
Is
okay.
your hand still on my head?
No.
Not trees.
Oh.
I'm fine.
Poor
Is your bird actually dead?
No. But it's costly to bring back.
Do you make it obvious that you need a...
Well, I'm wandering around looking on the ground and picking up sticks and looking in the tree.
What are you looking for?
Like a really long stick.
I might be able to help.
Okay,
Can I-
Dad.
do I
So
have
Brayden?
Can I see what activated the trap when
No.
the bird went through?
No.
Oh, it's magic then. Oh, I can't go past
That
my
battle
head.
axe, does that help?
I go to pick up a little stone and throw it down
Okay.
that direction.
Oh.
Plink, 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 plink. And it skitters all the way across the 10-foot section and lands at the base of what looks to be about a 7-foot ledge at the far end. Other than that, nothing happens.
Was the bird in the air?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Does anyone...
So I wasn't here as a player. Lance wasn't here last time. Why are we trying to get into this death trap?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Generally, we had
No.
a discussion that we needed to get stronger. So
Fame and fortune.
Then curiosity.
Yes.
We came here to fight undead. There were no
At least
undead.
fame.
I think that we should be moving along.
Wait a minute. Don't you have an unseen servant?
Do we have 10 minutes?
Can I ask a question? Can the unseen servant carry me?
Not even
Would
close.
you want him
No,
to?
but it has weight, right?
Yeah, if it's weightless,
Does it have
then
substance?
no pressure plate.
It doesn't really say. I mean,
Oh.
if
It
it
was
can
a
interact
bird.
with things, you would think it would.
Kyrie,
Yes.
right paw. Make me a history check.
Please do well.
Think high thoughts.
Okay.
That was
18.
18.
I'm in the middle of a saw trap and a.
There's something about that conversation that just happened about somebody being carried that seems familiar.
Oh.
I don't like this.
Side note, is this to scale, like 5 feet?
Yes,
Okay.
the squares are 5 feet.
Oh. Is this a carry puzzle where I have to carry someone?
I got a sploof.
I could send an servant all the way in.
Okay.
but-
None of you have made that connection
Yeah.
except her,
I
except Bright
Yeah.
Paw.
Please.
I'm
because-
going. Yeah, I'm going to mention. Perhaps it has something to do with the action that the statue is doing.
What?
I'm already carrying a crocodile skin, but I don't think that's the answer.
I'm carrying a rat. I could just carry the rat. I feel like there's a lot of things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
I am not anxious to have a crocodile on my back.
For that, my friend.
Pass this over to Jordan, please.
How do you feel about little green men?
Alright. Eliza's gonna have to make a choice. Evens, odds. Nix. You climb on my back.
I feel like this is a really, really bad idea.
I concur.
There are no undead here.
Look, we can at least try once.
That is true.
Once! Literally once!
That might be all the times that you have to try.
That might have exhausted all of your chances. And if you kill her, who will I proposition to my son?
You're right. Sploof, would you like to get on my back?
Keith,
After that?
I'd like to start tracking the goblins.
Okay. Make a survival check and we'll come back to that.
Fine.
I'll go ahead and.
You get on my
I'm
back.
just gonna like climb your
Oh.
rope.
Alright, so Sploof climbs up on Elias.
I don't like this.
Okay.
I feel like this is a bad idea.
If this goes wrong, she'll just die. He'll die immediately.
Sploof,
Step forward.
thank you, because I don't really want to leave my spider.
Okay. Where are you as you're
So-
stepping?
This is the pit trap where the Lancer's disc is floating, correct?
Okay.
And then this one was the
The blades?
blades.
Okay.
I jumped there.
You step there.
Yep.
And you cringe and you wait. And nothing happens.
He lives.
Oh.
They live.
I'm gonna need a lot of Tej after this.
Yes.
I got you
Alright, so
covered.
as you get to the end of that section, there is a 7-foot ledge
Oh.
right there.
Okay.
Sploof, up on his shoulders, you can see that the floor of the next level is wall to wall, 4 tiles by 4 tiles. They're plain. There doesn't seem to be anything else marking them. There's a little bit of a lip right at the top of the ledge, and then the 4 by 4 tiles.
Indiana Jones leap of faith.
Yeah.
You, being at the bottom, cannot see that.
Okay.
I pass it along. Go.
Okay.
Tell you what's going on.
So we have to climb the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all see what's going on.
Yeah, they can. You can all see what's going on.
I'm going.
Let's
see.
I'm
I
gonna.
pull out my jerky ration and start handing out pieces of jerky to watch.
All right,
That's
so
this.
to make the climb, I need an athletics check from you.
I'm
Sploof, are you going to assist?
Please. Of course.
You have advantage.
Good. Athletics. Oh. 24.
Nice.
And once you're up at the top, you are standing on just a wide enough ledge for you to stand on, and you do see the tiles laid out in front of you, 4 feet, 4 across by 4 deep.
So it's a jump.
Sploof. Make me a perception check, please.
So, who wants to go with me next?
I see.
All these
Let
things
them
are
take care of it.
Okay. 4.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I spend that? Oh, is it only for mine that I can spend?
It's only for yours.
Can you do your divination?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could give them a 2 or a 7.
You could.
Yes.
Well, 7 is technically better than a 4.
I'm not
You
there.
can
And
take
it's already rolled.
Yeah.
You can
Alright.
take a bardic. Let's see. Hold on.
She's already rolled though.
So
is
But-
the
if I
If we don't know the outcome, you can.
I think.
oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
that is true.
Roll
Because
the
that's-
hour.
At
Okay.
least that's the rolls in the DM.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, after the roll, before the.
So you've got
Before the
a,
outcome.
Yes, after the roll,
got a
before the outcome.
4.
So.
It's including your bonus.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't tell us the outcome yet.
Oh crap. No, actually, perception's a -1, not a +1. It's a 2.
No.
This is not working.
Okay.
Ouch.
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm not gonna
Okay.
go and tell.
So
Yeah.
you do see the tiles.
so the tiles are like ceramic tiles
Yeah, I mean they just look like ceramic tiles laid out on the floor
in front of me.
in front of you, and they go wall to wall, 4 deep
Okay.
and 4 across. I tell you what, guys, hold that thought. We'll come back to it.
13.
13. Okay. Because I need some information here, real quick. Oh no, you're doing it. You're doing tracking. Okay. All right. So. So after Sploof has pointed out to you that there are goblin tracks running back and forth, you do look down and you realize that there are. And there are a good number of them, and they are fairly recent. Looks like somewhere between maybe 10 to 20 goblins have been running back and forth at somewhat regular intervals, and it looks like they get to the mouth of the shrine, the mouth of the opening, and they shuffle their feet around for a little bit, and then they turn and leave without ever actually entering the shrine. You track them back, and they go past the burnt out chapel, which, by the way, one of you guys picked up the.
I have it.
You've got it. Okay, cool. Make me a. When we come back to you, never mind. Just remind me when we come back to it. They lead you past the chapel and off into the woods, and
At that point, I'm gonna stop.
you're gonna stop at
and-
the woods.
And yeah,
Okay.
and go back.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not dead yet.
Okay, so
wonderful.
we are back with
You might
Pyre.
wanna go
Pyre,
with
are
me
you doing
back
anything?
in?
Pyre, Nix, you guys doing anything in particular?
Yeah.
I think I've just kind of been
Just pray.
watching.
Just watching?
I'm mourning the loss of Imperius.
Kai, Hadrian, you guys doing anything in particular?
I was just watching.
Watching
this.
as
Just
well.
watching as well?
Yeah.
You guys doing
I want to go in if anybody wants to join me.
I'll join you.
Thank you.
Okay, so which one of you? So who's doing what? You guys just are you following the lead and having one on their shoulders,
Who's-
or
Yes.
are you
on
going
who?
together? I mean, how are you guys doing this?
No, we're gonna piggyback like they did.
Okay,
Yeah, well-
so who's on top? Who's on bottom?
So I'll be on bottom.
Okay.
context.
Roll it.
Okay, so
Sorry, I did a little bit of a joke there. There you go. I'm gonna use this.
there you go. Okay, so all right. So once you've got Brightpaw up on your shoulders, she's very lithe and very light, as you know a tabaxi is wont to be. You can also, however, feel like the stringy muscles, and you can tell that she's actually fairly strong.
She must work out.
So you move forward into the first section, the section that has the trapdoor. And
I still have my disc up.
so you'll step over the disc.
Super disc.
So walking over the disc, there's no problem. And you step into the next section, and much like Sploof and Elias before you, you sort of cringe across the 10 feet, waiting for the blades to come flying out, but nothing happens.
We lived.
So you are now at the bottom of the ledge that they're standing at the top of. Brightpaw,
Okay.
you can see the tiles as well. No, not Gideon. The guy that's you.
That would be me.
Meyer. Sorry, having a moment there, guys. So Meyer, you cannot see the tiles. If you want to clamber up as well, I will take an athletics check from you. And if Brightpaw you're assisting, you have advantage.
Okay.
While they're doing this, while I'm outside, I'd like to be keeping watch for the goblins.
Okay.
Coming back.
Easy enough to do.
That's 14.
14.
I'm sorry, 15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay.
15.
Elias made it look easier than it actually is.
Show off.
No, I'm just stronger than you all.
You are able to do it, but only just. It's one of those where you're not real sure. You weren't watching real closely. You don't put your feet where he put his, and it's a mad scramble there at the very last. Hold your footing and keep going up.
Okay.
Brightpaw, now that you are there, I will take a perception check from
Okay.
you.
18.
18. Okay.
Yep.
Doing this to level up.
Beyond the tile floor, there is another 7-foot ledge,
All right.
and past that, right about here-ish, there is a wooden door that also has a grid of 4 tiles across and 4 tiles high. And on the bottom row, all the way to your left, the tile is faintly glowing.
Okay, I'm going to tell my what I see. So, there's a door with a glowing tile up there. I'm assuming that's blue and...
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Well,
I heard
here,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all need to go on that tile there, correct?
Wait, it's a door, right?
Yes, there's a door. And there's a...
There's a door, there's a floor. You guys are
Yeah.
facing the floor right now.
So let's
Oh, I'm sorry, I misinterpreted the way the door looked.
show it all at the same time. Everyone step on the supposed glowing one.
Well, how about you go first and
What
we'll see
if
what
it's booby
happens.
trapped? Can I check for traps?
You can check for traps.
Not a bad idea.
I have
would that
let's
be?
see.
Make an make a perception check.
How would you get down to check for them? Or are you just kind of looking for them?
That's 8, so apparently I don't.
You don't see any traps.
Can I check for?
Sploof has already been doing the
okay.
checking.
That's fine.
If you don't trust me because I'm a goblin-y cook, I mean,
Which one's the glowing one?
The one on the left.
Alright.
I want-
Cross our fingers.
Hold on. Before you do that,
Oh, okay.
I want to take out my long sword. I want to poke the glowing one.
Okay, so there's not a glowing one on the floor.
No,
it
we're
is on
not
the
up
door.
there yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you,
with
so
the door.
the door is 10 feet,
Oh.
10 feet across the room. And
Okay.
up the
And up the.
So these are just the
other-
stones.
yeah, these are just stones on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to poke the one?
Yeah, I want to poke one of, like the two that's in front of me. It's 4 across, right?
There's 4 across.
Yeah.
Brightpaw has told you that there is a glowing stone
On the door.
on the door.
Yes.
So you want to poke the 2
Poke the 2 stones right in front, in the middle.
in the middle. Okay.
Well, at least you'll die.
I'm not standing on
Yeah,
them. I'm just
we're,
poking them.
We're like right next to you at this point.
Yeah.
Sploof, Brightpaw, Meyer, Elias. Please make me a dexterity save.
Oh, you asshole.
That is why I am outside.
Inspiration. Oh, that's a good
What a
one.
dexterity? Oh, I'm gonna be using this.
22.
19.
12. I can't roll for crap. You are ground.
Hey, Danny, buddy, inspiration. 6.
Our goblin and
15.
15. You all save.
Oh.
However,
Oh. This is why you don't touch things.
Better than walking on them.
instead of taking 22 points of fire damage, as magical flames pop into existence all across the floor, you only take 11.
Wait, what? I took 11 points of fire damage?
Did that drop you to
I'm
0?
dead.
Danny.
Oh!
Wait.
You're
Unconscious.
You're unconscious.
Oh!
So they have climbed up on the ledge, and is this them trying to move across the ledge?
Yes.
Okay. So all of a sudden it gets a little brighter.
It gets a little brighter from inside.
Can you smell roast?
Can we see any of what's going on?
You can see the flash of light and flames. Or you can see the flash of light. It gets
We didn't
bright.
actually
It's
walk
orange.
onto it. I just poked it from.
Yes, but you
Put
activated
pressure on it.
Yeah.
Keith, I would like to call down the tunnel to them. Try changing partners!
Get over here!
It's the goblin, all right. A very strange stench started.
It's fine. It's fine. Kill the goblin. Because I can't leave it.
I don't have another inspiration to give you.
I will do cure wounds on.
Salute?
Yeah,
Okay.
cure wounds.
Yeah. I will also.
Brain is racking up these inspirations.
Let's see.
Danny, I'm gonna do cure wounds on you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You like
Actually,
that.
Elias,
That's 12.
Never gonna happen.
Well,
Elias,
that's
make
good.
me
Maxed out.
make me a strength check.
Strength check?
Yeah,
Well, just like.
just straight strength.
Oh, when you're doing that.
Never mind, I'm going to kill.
Oh, that's worse.
20.
That's-
Had to burn through all my inspirations.
as the flames are washing over you, you do feel Sploof go limp, and you sort of just
Oh, no, you
instinctively
don't.
reach up and grab a hold of his nose to hang on to him as he flops over backwards. And then you feel the arcane energies coming from Meyer.
Yeah, I got
And-
you.
and-
It's okay.
Sploof is able to sit back up and coughs out smoke.
Hey, you lived.
The tip of the hat's on fire.
Bloof, are you still with us?
I think so.
Is the thing still glowing?
It's
Is
The
What?
block is still glowing.
Okay.
The
It
block
can be
on the
cold,
door is
right?
still glowing.
alright. So we'll go first.
I believe that's a good idea.
Yes. And just keep them away. We go to the glowing tile that corresponds.
Okay. So you step forward.
Yes.
Bling. Sploof and Bright. Make a perception check.
I like this dice better.
Oh,
today.
that was not a good roll.
So 17.
17.
Why does my perception suck?
That was
Bright.
I had a really bad roll, so 3.
3. Okay.
Oh.
You're still a little dazed, Bright, by the
The lights.
the lights
got
and
me.
the flames.
Sploof, however, is fine.
Sploof, however, you notice that on the next row up on the door, the far right block is now glowing in addition to the bottom left.
Which one?
Alright.
Step to the
Wait,
far right.
we haven't actually gone forward yet, have we?
We've gone. Yeah.
Well, you're on his shoulders.
Oh,
So
I
we
get
are.
it.
So
yeah,
that
we're
would be
we're
our
going.
next one.
So
Okay.
we go to
I
the far
get it.
right.
Ding.
Ooh.
Make a perception check.
Good. Think good thoughts. 12.
Do you
Now,
want?
I know that I'm looking at it though.
You are, but it's kind of hard to see.
Oh.
Can I tell which one is lit up at all?
Not
Can
with
we
the 12.
Can I
Toss
see?
Sploof at the door.
Make a perception check.
No.
Pretty almost died.
16.
16?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's-
he is.
He's bad at playing good characters.
Hey, at least that's what
So
his,
if they're
his sheet
numbered,
says he's
if
good.
they're numbered across
Yeah.
1 to
That's
1
what
to
she
4,
said.
Nate,
number
Nate
3.
himself is evil. That's what she said.
Okay.
So second from
He's
second
just a
from
bad
the right.
hero.
Second on the right. Okay. You might want to go to down to the right. Second from the right.
Follow her instructions.
Okay. You step forward and to your left. Ding. Make a perception check. Both of you. You
Oh, we're back to good number 17.
17.
Another 2.
Another two.
Wow.
Glad
okay,
you are
3.
both there.
Oh.
Yes.
So now the second from the left. Now that you know what you're looking for, it's like, oh, I mean, missed the ones on the inside. Second from the left on the top row. So you step forward.
Yes.
Ding. And you are now at the next ledge up.
Okay. It's time to climb.
So make your athletics check. You're helping. If you're assisting, you have
Yes.
advantage.
Hey, excuse me.
15.
This one's a little bit harder, or maybe you didn't find the right handholds. You just managed to get there.
Okay.
And you are now standing in front of the door with the glowing tiles.
Okay.
Checking for traps.
Yes.
Should we move?
No, just
So
Just give
you
it a
don't
check.
see anything. So what do you, we'll come back to you guys. What are you guys doing?
So you can see all the glowing ones, right?
Yes, and I can see them.
So you've got
So-
the pattern. You know what the pattern is
Yes.
now. So you're going
Yes.
to
Yeah,
direct
we can
Meyer.
direct.
Yes. So.
So you re-step. You follow
Yes.
this.
Left, right, left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you guys are able to follow them across the room. Now make the athletics check to climb the ledge. By this point, they are out of sight to you guys. You guys cannot see them from outside.
Really wish we had some form of communication right now.
Oh, I can message.
19.
people.
19.
I have
Okay.
a message.
Yeah, I can
Um,
message too. But...
You did see Elias take this and have a little bit of trouble with it. You're not real sure why, because it's a little bit easier than the last one.
Oh, Elias.
So now the two
Okay.
pairs of you are facing the door, and you can all see the glowing stones.
Speak friend and enter.
So, do you think we just hit the corresponding buttons as we went? Just hit those and activate the door?
Can I make?
Sure, as I
Push all of them are lit up. Move yourself forward. On the
Oh.
yeah.
I need more.
I'm not sure.
Well, we gotta do something. Or we just bash it with our weapons.
That's my best bet. Do you have a fire extinguisher?
No.
We have water.
Water bucket.
Yeah, we got some water.
So, should we try the passive code? Hit the tiles that correspond to us getting here?
Might as
It's
well.
worth a try.
Try.
Okay.
Quiet prayer to whatever
Wait, I think
holy
I might have
symbol
shielded
and
it.
hit the exact path that it took us to get here on the corresponding tiles.
Okay. So you're doing all 4 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
No, whatever.
Okay.
Another deck
So
save?
everyone on the ledge. So that's all 4 of you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
none of you made suggestions.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
They just never come back out.
We can just see their dead bodies in there.
Oh my god.
Alright. You guys haven't spoken for a while.
16.
4.
16.
16, 16, 4.
I hope you have another healing spell because she.
Oh, I got more.
Yeah, okay.
I got more.
Bright?
10. No.
This
Yeah.
is how Sploof dies.
This is
10.
how we lose half our party.
I know.
I can't lose her. I won't be able to get out.
Okay, so we have a 16, a 16, a 10, and a 4. Okay.
We'll come back with all the treasure. Don't worry. Well, at least I will.
So the 4 of you and everyone outside hears a thunderous roar of, well, thunder as Thunderwave gets triggered.
I look up at this.
Do you think that's a sign of progress?
Or demise?
So the
Die.
2 of you
I'm
take
gonna die.
4
gonna
points
die.
of thunder damage.
Okay.
Bright, you take 9 points of thunder
Okay, now I'm
damage.
dead.
Oh.
Sploof, you also take the 9 points of thunder damage, and the 2 of you are knocked off their shoulders and over the ledge to the floor below. Whereupon the flames fire.
I would like to quickly get on his shoulder.
We can't see the
And
fire
because
from
you're
around,
and
right?
because you are both unconscious, you automatically fail and take 22 points.
Oh, they're
Sploof is dead now. Well, that was fun, guys.
Okay.
Well. They didn't try to catch us?
Probably didn't have time.
I tell you what, I will give both of you a dexterity save to try and catch your
One of
partner.
Each can catch one.
Each can catch one.
17.
17,
21.
21. You both make it.
Oh.
Hold on at the very last instant.
Heal, 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 heal.
Oh my god.
Oh, I just imagine that's like a thing like.
Yeah, there's this flash in both of your brains. There's this vivid image of what would have
The
happened
divination
if you
wizard
hadn't
has vision.
if you hadn't caught them.
They all just died.
I messaged back to him. I was like, it's a funny thing.
Have you healed people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you?
Okay,
Yeah, please heal.
I will heal. I will do cure wounds on both of them.
Cure wounds on both of them. Okay.
Okay, how much
So
I gotta go for it.
This is such a bad plan.
so who are you healing first?
Probably her, right? Probably
Yeah.
because she's with
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Right.
How many cure wounds do you have?
So I got 4 spell slots.
You
so-
could also
You've just used 3 of them. Actually, no,
No.
you've used all 4 of them because you haven't had a rest since you healed Nyx.
Oh, that's right.
No, that's only 2 then.
You just used one on
Two.
You had to bring back
1,
Soul.
2,
You had to
3,
bring back
4.
Sploof the first time.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be the 4.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
will be your 4.
These
You'll
will
be
be your
out
final-
after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Seaward Freeze might be in
Yes.
order.
Okay.
I agree.
Except that those of us who are
I
out there
a
have
healing
no idea
potion,
what's going on.
so-
Nope.
We saw bright
Well,
flash.
he did message.
You saw a bright flash of orange,
Smoke
and then a
and
few
sweet.
minutes later, you hear this peal of
Nine.
thunder
Okay.
coming
Well, I was
rolling
scared,
down
so.
the passageway.
I'm so
Are
glad.
you all alive in there?
No!
Uh,
But it should be fine
Then it's gonna
momentarily.
be 12 again.
What?
12.
12.
Here.
Hit
You
points.
got 12 hit points.
Oh, thank
You've
you.
been healed.
Yep.
Wait, did you?
I have 9. Yes.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
heal her. I still am at
Yes,
least
yes.
awake.
So,
Yeah.
back on my shoulder.
Well, the healing is what brought you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought
If she didn't
that
take the fire damage,
she
then did you go
needed
down before the? Oh no.
No, we didn't.
Quite.
Because they
Oh,
caught their
caught them.
unconscious
Yeah.
bodies
Yes.
before they.
Okay, so the thunder damage wasn't enough to put you under.
No,
Okay.
I have 2 hit points.
Okay. All right. So you for sure needed to heal
Yes.
Bride.
Right.
I got her.
Yes.
Sploof never went unconscious.
You
So
want
it's
to
up
be
to you if you want the healing or not.
If we're going forward, I definitely need to be healed, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking aborting this mission would probably be great.
But we're right here at the end. Maybe.
It's just a door.
We're at a door.
Just see what's beyond the
Let's
door
just see
if
what's
you can
beyond the
open it.
door.
I guess you
I'm
could
gonna
always.
Can I give a perception check to look at the door? To see the
Can I
answer?
use healing word on myself?
Just looking at the door is not necessarily going to give you the answer to the riddle. I mean, you do see the glowing tiles.
We're all just standing
Let's get
outside,
the glowing
kicking
tiles,
rocks.
or-
I'm like so.
You could ride your spider.
I think perhaps getting stronger by facing the goblins is a better idea.
Let's see how they're feeling when they come out.
So,
if they
Dead.
come out.
There's
I do believe that is a
so
strong
when we
gift.
get to the door, only one.
We might need a
tiles
little
is glowing.
nap.
No, all 4 of them are still glowing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Discretion is the better part of
is
that.
there a doorknob?
No, there is not.
I don't understand what we do.
Healing word.
I'm
Well,
gonna
that
use
hasn't stopped.
healing word
Yes.
on myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do we do the opposite?
Sorry, I was looking
Go the opposite way instead of the way we just. So instead of doing like the same
Wait!
way.
I'm going to investigate to see if there is anything else that might be a hint on here so that maybe we don't die.
I haven't pressed anything this time.
13.
You're certain you need to do what Brayden did last time.
There's a glyph, a glowing magical glyph set into the door frame right above the door that looks like it might have been the trigger for the thunder wave.
Now we see it.
Glyph. I just point up at it. Would I know what to do with that?
Make an Arcana check.
Smash it with a hammer.
+5. Ah, unnatural 20.
A natural?
Unnatural.
Unnatural? It's obviously a magical trigger for the trap.
I would assume.
You would also assume it would be susceptible to dispel magic. Except you don't have that
fish
spell,
level
do
wizard.
you?
No one has to spell magic.
None of us have it, I don't think.
So what
No.
combination did I try to
That
do
was
again?
silly.
You
the
did them in
passage
order,
or
but
so?
you
The
you
order
you did
that
them
we
in order.
went, right?
Yes.
Do we have to do the opposite to undo it?
The answer is yes.
All 4 of you make me an intelligence check. Just a
Aw.
straight intelligence check. Bright Paw,
I
That's
don't
not
suck
fair.
at
you
this.
have advantage.
Okay.
Ooh, unnatural 20.
Okay.
Natural or
Unnatural.
unnatural?
Oh, just
It's so hard to hear whether you're saying an natural 20 or unnatural 20.
11.
11?
15.
15?
Okay, 18. They were the
18?
same rolls.
There has to be something to the fact that this whole setup is geared toward having someone on your shoulders.
Oh, I wonder if I just. Was there another thing farther down that needed to be pressed at the same time?
There's 4 glowing tiles on the door.
And what is the arrangement here?
So it's 1 all the way to the left on the bottom row, 1 all the way to the right on the second, then second in from the right, second in from the left.
Are we supposed to press them at the same time?
Would it not? You wouldn't be able to press them all by yourself simultaneously?
1 person probably would not be able to.
Just body slam the door.
So I guess we press all of the buttons.
Well, I'm out of healing spells, so last chance.
Oh god.
I like the plan.
I like it. What have we got to lose?
Our lives.
Our lives.
Oh, boo! It'd be a good story.
Would be a good story.
Nobody's gonna be able to tell it.
These 4 people went into this cave. They did not come out.
And here's what happened.
No, I really.
I'm gonna write down.
I feel like
Gonna
people
get out a
going
piece
into
of
caves and
paper.
not coming out is a pretty common story here in Schultz.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so I messaged back to him, say, hey, this is what we got going on. Any ideas?
We'll tell your story.
Okay, so do you just tell me tell me exactly what you tell me? Because so far,
Okay.
I don't know anything about what you've had to do to get up to there. So
Do we just press them at the
what
same
all do you tell me?
Okay, so we got past the first one to the disc. We had the piggyback and then got across the second. We climbed up a ledge. There are 4x4 stones, and just behind that is a door with 4 glowing stones. And we corresponded the glowing stones onto the floor to be able to get across that. And now we're at the door. We pressed the stones in order the way we walked across, and that was the loud thunder you heard.
All right, how hurt is everyone?
I think. Well.
This is just message.
Yeah, this is message.
You don't know.
Were you able to heal both of us though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm out
yeah.
now.
Oh, okay.
Don't you
I
have second
have
level
healing
spells?
word. I have healing
Not healing
word.
spells.
So
You can use
You can use your
Oh,
slot.
gotcha.
How hurt are you?
So, not too bad.
How about everybody else?
Not looking so good.
Are you back?
They're healed.
No.
What? How much?
Mm,
Not too good.
I'm
Elias
under half.
might be a little bit hurt.
I'd try pressing all of them at the same time.
Sounds good to me.
If you
telling us
no, this is
No,
message.
this is message.
If you think that like you don't want to risk hurting people, why don't you guys come back and 2 people who haven't tried it and aren't hurt yet will go back and do it. That way no one dies.
Oh, we don't hear that.
Wait.
Are you ready?
Oh god.
I will
don't
relay
hear
that.
this.
We don't hear
Yeah,
this.
you guys just see him
Yeah.
standing there and I'm on the other end. Just
Okay, so hey,
I probably
idea.
would.
All right.
So guys, idea.
Oh, 3.
Yes.
Wait. So I just messaged back to the front of the cave, and if you want to go back, we can switch out people.
Are you talking, Lance?
Nope.
It's a Lance thing
So-
to do.
I will take it.
Lance thing to do.
Such a Lance.
Here's an inspiration for.
Although to be fair, when you guys are standing there, I probably was like gesticulating while I was messaging him back. So I probably was using my hands. I just wasn't saying anything.
We're all just kind of staring at you when you pop out.
They're having trouble.
Just go for it.
I'm ready to go for
I
it.
assumed as much from the thunderous clap and the smell
floof.
of frying.
Everybody all together?
One
Oh god. We're doing this. And apparently we
at
do
the
the same.
same time.
One for all.
Okay,
all for one.
so which ones are you
Hey.
taking? Which ones are you taking?
The two ones I can hit the bottom and Sploof's getting the other two.
Okay. You hear a rumble.
Oh god, oh god, oh god!
And the sound of stone on stone as the door rises into the ceiling in front of you.
And there's a rolling boulder behind
Yeah. Right. No, the door's gonna open. They're gonna be like, oh, thank goodness. They're gonna step in and set off the next trap.
Yeah, right.
Well, not if we're all on top of each other's shoulders.
So
All of a sudden, there's a Taras having
Message. Message. We are still alive.
Glad to hear it.
The door is open.
So the floor of the dusty 40-foot high, 20-foot wide chamber is littered with dinosaur bones.
Oh.
Webs stretch from the walls to a 30-foot tall central pillar, coiled around which is a narrow stone staircase, its steps covered with dust. Carved into the pillar are reliefs of a man carrying a crocodile. The reliefs follow the stairs to the top of the pillar, on which sits a large, beautiful ceramic jug.
So, Aladdin style, climb up, checking for traps.
Oh god. This is where we died.
They just better hope that the
11.
triggers to get back are the same as the triggers to get there.
Yeah.
You don't see any.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
I was thinking that too.
If I was building a good
Spoof's
trap,
still on my
I would make it the
shoulders.
same.
Okay.
We slowly walk up the stairs.
Okay. You make it to the top.
Check to see if the jug is trapped.
Seeing that he makes it, I follow.
It's narrow and there's not room for the two pairs of you at the top.
Okay.
Detect magic.
Oh yes.
Good call.
Okay.
I can't
Checking
dispel
for
it, but I can at
traps.
least
Is
detect
this
it.
an investigation or perception?
Investigation.
Okay.
19. You don't see any traps on the jug.
Okay.
Detect magic. 5 very interesting points start glowing in your field of view.
Uh-oh.
The jug and 4 of the steps that you just walked over, and you know he stepped on them.
I tap him on the shoulder. And I point. Magic. Magic, 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 magic.
Wait.
I wish I had inspiration to give you for that.
Wait.
You get to know what the magic is.
Ooh, what's the magic? What's
yes.
the magic?
Glyphs,
Wow, the inspiration.
glyphs of warding.
Oh, well, I mean, that would be evocation, or no, that's enchantment.
Abjuration.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
That's the blowy
Warding?
uppy things, right?
Abjuration.
Wait. I passed over them.
and they look like they might be similar to the one in the door frame outside.
Oh, we're fine because you're on my shoulders. And no trap can be
Either
activated
that
as
or
long as
you
you're on my
haven't done the
shoulders.
trigger action for this of
we're-
warding.
We're not here.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah,
Do
way,
they
we
look
don't know.
connected?
I don't think I know either. So.
Like,
It doesn't seem to be.
All right. Well, we know about them
face
now.
isn't connected to the stairs.
The ones there solve
There's a small magnet on the base forming an electrical connection.
Yep, that's what I'm expecting here.
Okay.
by the way, Keith, just as a side note, while all of this is happening outside, especially where I see Lance making weird gestures, I'm going to kind of just make sure I'm keeping watch.
Make a perception check, please.
I've been keeping watch this whole time as well.
You've
but-
been distracted by message and gesticulating, and everyone except Nyx has been drawn to your antics, and Nyx is the only one that is actually keeping watch.
That was a great show, though.
What did you say, perception?
Perception.
Uh-oh.
14?
Oh, we lost the game.
It's
Oh,
fine.
there
There you go.
goes.
It takes it a second to cycle through. What was it?
14?
14. Okay. There,
It's a goblin surprise party.
you're not real sure how nobody else heard what you just heard, because that sounded an awful lot like a dinosaur crunching through the underbrush behind you. And as you turn and look, you see No.
Chef Goldblum riding dinosaurs.
He's returned.
Sorry.
So you see 8 sort of almost man-sized figures tromping through the bush. One of them is a little, about half again as tall as the others. And then there's one that's half as tall as the
I
others.
know what this is.
And they're all wearing wooden masks.
Oh,
Except
no.
it's like some of the figures have 2 masks. Some of the tall one has 3, and the short one only has 1.
Like totem poles?
Yep.
Oh, is this the stack?
You're not watching.
Oh, I
you
know
don't
what
see
this
it.
is.
Yep.
But yeah,
Meanwhile, in the
yeah, it
cave-
looks like totem poles. Roll me a history check, real quick, just to see if you remember where you've seen this before.
7.
Nope.
Guys.
What?
So,
And we're gonna go back inside.
Okay.
So you guys are atop the steps,
Okay.
facing.
Grab it already.
14 Arcana. What is this face about? What's going on with this? Or is there something else I need to roll?
It's not something you need to roll. Do you have? It's obviously a magical artifact of something. It has to do, looks like, with maybe conjuration magic,
Water.
but you're not real sure what beyond that.
But it doesn't look like it's gonna like do anything terrible to us
No.
if I pick it up.
Doesn't look that way, no.
They don't look that way. So,
cursed
okay.
items never look that way.
Yeah.
To recommend perhaps we don't step on the glyphs of warding.
Good yeah.
But I think we're okay to pick the thing up.
Indiana Jones style.
Okay.
What are you gonna put down?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna put down if it's Indiana Jones style?
Oof.
Yes.
Hey, if that's what you're going for, I mean, what are you doing here?
But I'm
Okay.
the size of a half person, so if the
I
whole
still
idea
got
is
some
like
tedge.
a person on your shoulders, I should still theoretically be okay, right?
What?
I wouldn't count on it.
I wasn't putting.
Anyway,
So what are you doing?
I
Use
take,
sploof.
from my bag, I take out a mess kit.
Okay, your mess
Gonna
kit.
be heavy enough?
Not super heavy.
I still got my
Are there
tedge.
rocks on the floor?
Okay, so you
you know,
you,
I have
you
a
swap
bag
them
of
out,
rocks.
and you're now holding the jug.
Nothing happens?
You do hear it sloshing.
Oh.
Now take the mess kit.
Nothing happens.
Yep.
Alright.
Now
Now,
take the mess
point
kit.
to me which one the glyphs are as we head slowly back down the stairs.
Magic.
Skip.
Okay, so you're skipping over the obviously
Yeah.
glyphed steps with guidance from Sploof. Okay,
Well done, my boy.
Yeah, now let's get out of
Not
here.
dead yet?
you're not dead yet.
Is there anything that looks like it's gonna go off when we cross through?
Oh yeah, you saw it.
Make a perception check.
Oh god, perception sucks. 15?
Not that you can see.
You
does
don't
detect magic
like response. Oh yeah, how long does detect magic last?
10
Can I?
minutes.
Do I see
I think
anything
it's
else
10
magical
minutes.
like behind?
You don't see anything else magical except for the jug that you are now holding, or that he is now holding, and the glyphs that are behind you.
Okay.
I don't see any more magic.
Alright, now let's get out of
Let's
here.
get out of here.
Okay.
Goblins stacked on top of other goblins.
It's a goblin totem pole.
Because it's goblins! They're dumb.
I represent that
No, you guys don't. Yeah, you're not having
You guys
that
have no
conversation.
idea what's happening.
So,
Right.
Okay.
so yeah, I guess we're gonna
It's like the dragon with the
And
giants
try and-
all over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will leave you to make your way out of the.
I
Of the
messaged
shrine.
him, hey, we got a jug. We got a jug, we're coming back out.
So, how many masks
So
are there?
so how many masks?
Yeah.
18. So there's one stack of 3. There are 7 stacks of 2, and then there's one by himself.
Oh,
Or
runner
by
fight.
itself.
Runner fight.
If we run, we can run inside.
Yeah, runner
Steal the
fight.
entrance. But we have to. Somebody has to carry me.
Pyre, get on my back.
Where are we running from?
Wait, what?
Those!
So you turn and you look, and there are what look to be ambulatory totem poles walking out of the forest with spears.
And Pyre's climbing on my back.
Why are you getting in? Why are you coming in here?
I'm getting on my spider.
Okay.
I suggest that we follow.
I hop on your back.
Alright, I'm gonna, since Meyer told me how to get through, I'm gonna lead everyone else through this and like tell them what to do.
Just don't get to the tiles.
All we have to do is get past like the first 2 traps and then see what they do, right?
Well, I can seal the entrance.
Well, let's just get up onto the ledge and wait and see what
No,
they
don't
do.
go to the ledge.
Well,
Go to the
if
ledge.
they're totems, they should be used to getting on each other's backs.
Wait and see what they
so
do.
the moment everybody clears the entrance, I'm going to cast web and just cover the entrance.
Okay. That's going to make it really difficult to see through, to see what the Batiri do.
But he already did it. So
But he already did it, so it's done. All right. So
climbing up the ledge.
you climbing up the ledge. Where are
Who's
Don't.
climbing on who?
where are my bottoms? Okay.
Spider.
And the spider. Okay. I will have athletics checks from you. I'm assuming you're going to help him
Yes.
climbing up. So you have advantage. So you'll roll athletics. Are you assisting as well?
I'll try.
You have advantage.
No, I'm always on top.
Hey, stop making my voice.
15. You're able to do it only just.
Yeah.
That 20.
Natural 20.
Thank goodness.
You hop up there, no sweat, easy peasy. About this point, you see the rest of them coming down from the next level up.
Oh,
So-
hey guys.
Please, no one move.
Now that the hard stuff is done.
Just stay there.
I'm not even looking back at them. I'm looking back at the webbed entrance to see what
Okay.
happens.
Goblins. Behind us.
Okay.
And
Solutions.
now we're trapped in here.
Stackable goblins.
This is humiliating.
Would I know about them?
No.
No.
So I did the spider counted. I didn't die
Split,
for
you
traps.
You didn't die for
I pull out my
Yeah,
longsword
that's
and
okay.
hand it
Yeah.
to you.
Although I will need, well, no, because your spider can climb walls, so you don't even have to make the trip. Don't even have to make the check.
So,
I have to.
So anyone who's watching, you do see shadows sort of start to pop up on the web as they're blocking the light from outside. They get there, they stand around for a minute, and it seems like they're sort of back and forth, and they don't seem to be going anywhere.
Gideon,
So if we want to do this as a group, that's
Hey.
one thing. But
where's Shishaka?
oh,
I have no idea.
You.
Oh.
Zaka.
As far as I was Azaka standing out there with us?
She was.
Did you leave her behind?
Okay, then we
went to
would
deflect.
have put
I would've
Nix on her
gone
back and
back.
the spider could have climbed off somewhere else.
we'll assume
okay.
that
Okay.
she's there with you guys.
My spider would have.
I thought we left Azaka with our camouflage gear to watch it or something because she hasn't
I mean, well,
done
you-
or said anything this whole time.
I have an idea that just might work.
What?
How well do you think that we can make ourselves look very scary?
I'm
Spider's
proficient
outside.
in disguise kit.
You're already
I
pretty
also have a
terrifying.
disguise kit.
Thank you. Use it.
And I actually have a
Yeah,
pretty high
let's
intimidation.
use our
I do too.
disguise kit. And then actually you guys will see me take on this terrifying presence as that black bit that covered one of my eyes sort of spreads across my body.
You might want to get that look.
And I take on almost skeletal form as my fallen Aesmir side starts showing through.
Ooh.
Complete with the skeletal wings.
Complete with skeletal wings. And,
I'm on your back.
And I want to use the disguise kit to make him look a bit more ghostly.
Okay.
I am a core, so my skin is alabaster.
Okay.
Now, let's burn the web.
Not while it's on me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, it was
Shmoo,
not my fault.
just keep firing from piggyback while I attack the ball.
So we move back up.
On
towards it.
Azaka's back, I'm getting my bow ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Scorching Ray ready, and I'm
We're,
gonna shoot for
we're
the
staying
tall
up on
ones.
the ledge.
Okay, I
Okay.
can shoot it from up here. Whenever you're all ready.
Alright. Yeah, so we want to get near it, not in it.
Near it, not in it. Okay.
Yes.
And the
Firebolt.
firebolt and the a very familiar effect as the web starts to go up in smoke. You have sort of almost a panic attack as you sort of remember the flames licking at your skin there, Nyx. So you guys do see outside there is the stack of 3 wooden masks are still turned and facing you. There are 3 spears jutting out from each side of it.
Each of them will need to make a wisdom save
Okay.
as we approach them.
Okay.
I'm gonna light up my maul with my Rite of Dawn.
Okay.
I got an 18 on my intimidate. To be as intimidating as I possibly can be.
This is the wisdom save against
Casimir effect.
his Azimir effect. One of them was a natural 20.
That's fine. They have a 13 is the
13. Okay, so one was a natural 20, one was a 15, one was an 11. The 11 is the top of the stack. What is the effect of that?
They become frightened of me.
Okay.
They want to get away from him.
You suddenly see the top of the three stack turn away and jump down, and as it turns away, you see that behind the mask it is a goblin, and it is now running away as fast as it possibly can across the camp.
It's only goblins.
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 Is that the only one that?
That is the only one that has done so. Has
I
done
got
so
an
far.
18 intimidate.
Okay.
We target 1 because it's a demoralize. But
Right. So this will be the one in the middle.
Yes, I just. Thank you.
And what's the number to beat on that? Oh, no, it's the 18. And that one likewise. So the top one pops off and runs away at sight of the Asimir. The second one sort of looks back over his shoulder and looks back at you. And you see tiny little beady goblin eyes behind the mask go wide. And then it jumps down and starts to scurry away as well, leaving just the one. Now looking back and forth, a little bit concerned that he no longer has his compatriots with him.
With him, I'm
that
going
looks
to
like fun.
let out this awful screech with a nat 20 intimidation at him.
He jumps a step back and he turns and runs away.
So now we have 7 stacks of 2. And
Now there are 7
one.
stacks of 2 that are now converging back on the door
But there's
of the.
only enough room for them to come in 2 stacks at a time.
And now we will have initiative.
Yay.
Closer. You need to be just a touch.
I'm ready.
15-foot code.
We'll move up to 15 feet to the entrance.
Okay.
Oh, remember, movement is only available for the bottoms.
Yes.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yes.
I got a 12. I got 12 of them.
I got a 17.
Okay.
Also,
Uno momento, por favor.
12 of them. Have you seen that? The waffles thing.
And this one, so
I don't want 8 waffles. I want 12.
get me.
How many hit points are you guys at this point?
They're
I don't
real.
have very many. No, I don't
I
have
thought
very
you were
many.
real.
I did, but not all the way.
Anyone who's not feeling super good should stay at the back of the group.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah,
Oh, no, wait.
I got a few spells.
I have 13 hit points right now.
So if we move up and you can throw that gun out, and then I'll just stand there and melee anything that gets close enough.
All right. So Nyx,
I got 17.
17,
12.
12,
Sorry, I'll speak up. 12.
12.
12 as well.
17.
17,
Also 12.
also 12. Lots of
Goodness.
12s and 17s.
14.
14. You had to go and break the pattern.
Yeah, I did,
Yep.
absolutely.
Now I will go right in the middle. 13.
13. Lucky 13.
18.
18.
6.
6.
Ooh.
Got a 6.
Okay. So.
I was distracted.
And don't forget Azaka
yeah.
is my movement.
Yeah. She will actually go first.
Oh,
cool.
With an unnatural 20.
You should probably call out your cone plan so everybody knows.
Yeah. Don't get in front of us!
All right. So Azaka is going to. So there are now. What was it? 7. So there are 7 stacks of Batiri ringing the entry here to the to the shrine. You guys are right about there, sort of in the area where the blades would have come out, and stack all the way back to the first ledge. That's all the room there is for you
Where are the
guys.
goblins? They're right here.
They are outside,
Outside.
so they're outside.
Oh, I should have used inspiration for my initiative.
So Azaka will go first, and you, Nyx, from atop her shoulders, you feel her whip out her long bow, and it's sort of weird to feel from this angle. Because you are on her shoulders, however, you're going to interfere with her attack, and she will have disadvantage.
It's like a shotgun.
Okay, so that is going to be 15, and it just hits the top of one of the stacks.
Hit the bottoms.
Yeah.
She deals 6 points of damage, and that goblin takes it, like, it punches right through the mask, and you hear this sort of gurgling. You're not real sure where it hit, but it's obviously bad.
I wonder how flammable these masks are.
Fireball!
Have you dropped tensors? I
Yeah.
assume.
Oh. We can't go.
Well, I would have moved if I had not, so.
Right.
Like, it would have followed us.
No, we're good.
It would have blocked our path forward.
Yeah.
Okay. She fires again at the same goblin. And misses. So it goes wide. You get a feeling that you being on her shoulders is not doing wonders for her ability to attack. That will now bring us to Lance.
All right,
and
so
Gideon.
I'm gonna go up right to the edge of the trapdoor.
Okay.
So we're just
Just
off
in
the trap
just
door.
off the trap door.
And I'm gonna draw my sword and ready in action to melee the bottom of the first stack of goblins to get up to us.
Okay. So you're gonna hold your action. Okay. You are carrying Pyre along with you. So Pyre, keep that in mind as you go. And that's going to bring us to either Nyx or Hadrian.
Since we were out front, should we go first? So we're kind of right in front of a bunch of goblins right now.
Weren't both of us?
Well,
we were all
we
in.
ran out first.
Oh,
We ran out and intimidated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So
there are 7 more stacks of
is there a clearing that we can move through them without provoking attack of
No.
opportunity?
they're at this point they're
behind us.
At this point they're close enough that the arc is pretty
Yeah.
tight.
Then I will go ahead and move back behind them
Okay.
into the shadows where I will try to stealth, or not stealth, but veil as a bonus action.
Okay.
Do you want to roll the stealth or should I?
I'll roll it.
Okay, it has a +6.
Okay.
There was an easier way to do this, maybe.
Okay. Good enough.
And then I will hold my attack action for
Okay.
any that come within 10 feet.
All right. So Nyx.
So if they move up to him, I can attack them.
Okay, so I am going to Hunter's Mark, the nearest bottom
Okay.
goblin. And
It's the battle of the totems.
and I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Because that was a nat
This is
one.
the most life and death game of chicken I have ever played.
when you all started this going in, I was just like, this just makes me think of playing chicken in the pool all the time.
Yeah.
It's 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
Or joust, as my brothers would call it.
8 points of damage.
So that stack topples over.
Is that goblin still alive?
No.
Okay.
So you feel the hunter's mark fade. If you want to move it to another target,
I'm
you
gonna
can.
move it to the next bottom goblin.
Next bottom. Okay.
Next bottom.
All right.
That's why I'm waiting for them to get up to
You
that trapdoor
don't-
and then just take out the
You
bottom
can
stack.
take movement if you want to, but in order to do so, you will have to jump down off of Azaka's
I'm
shoulders.
dead.
So you are done. That now will bring us up to the Batiri, who are going to close in. So you guys are back inside as well.
They're probably about even with me because there's enough room for
Okay.
us to stand side by side.
So the first 2 stacks are going to rush into the shrine, and they will. One of them will stand right up in front of you. The other one will stand right up in front of you, although he doesn't know that you're there.
Well, he would know that I'm
Well,
there,
okay.
but he has disadvantage attacking me.
He is considered to have taken the dodge action.
Okay.
When he is 10 feet out, I do take that attack.
Okay.
So will a unnatural 20 hit?
Yeah. Yes, it will.
That will be... a whole whopping 5 damage.
5 points of damage. Okay.
I rolled a nat 1 on my d8.
Ouch.
A nat 1 on my d6. Actually, no, it should be 7.
7 points of damage?
Yes, because I have a +2 to my d8 for the fighting stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Dueling's great.
Yeah.
All right. So this could get interesting. Give me 1 second here, guys.
Oh, wait, you're in Asimov form too, right?
Oh,
So
I forgot my
you add
necrotic
your
damage.
you add your level.
It doesn't matter.
damage.
It does not matter.
Kill it!
You roll 2 ones and you kill it.
With a 10. So I roll all 1s and I do deal 10 damage in this form. Nice.
It is is your level of necrotic damage, right?
Do, 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 do.
And it only applies to your to one attack.
So, you take your swipe at the bottom of your stack, and what's your weapon again? Remind
It's
me.
a long sword.
It's a long
I
sword.
just essentially like lunge out and almost extend my body sort of longer
Okay.
than you would
So,
expect.
so you lunge out and you're able to stab through the mask right between the eyes, and as you pull back, the one that you hit topples forward, spilling his compatriot onto the trap door. That gives way underneath him and the other stack. all four goblins tumble into this 20-foot deep pit. And as they land, there's one thud and 3 sickening crunches as necks get snapped. Wiping out all 4 with one shot.
Oh,
And that's why we retreated into the
Good
tunnel.
plan.
Play of the game.
You do notice there is a little lip along the edge of the pit that looks like it might be kind of traversable. It's going to be tough, but it's doable. So that's those 4.
Well done.
The other 5 stacks start to move in, but don't quite make it into the tunnel. Those 2 stacks were leading the charge.
How close?
Looks like probably they're just like the next 2 are about 5 feet outside, and then the next 2 are 5 feet behind them, and they're sort of stacking
Cone
up
will take all.
in rows.
Get all.
Yep.
Basically.
All right, so that's them. The rest of them are charging in. Now we have Bright
Alright.
from atop Myers' shoulders.
Let's see.
Meyer,
I
you will be up next, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I will. I will get my short bow and hold an action for any
Okay.
incoming.
What's your range? on that?
Don't know what it is.
It's either 80 or 60.
I'm not sure. I don't
Okay.
know if it's on.
You could take a shot if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. Then I will. do
They're
that.
within your normal range. I
Okay.
mean, they're within your range, period, but they're definitely within your normal range.
Okay. I will do that then. I will aim at the bottom
Okay.
Bottom.
of one of the closest stack, I guess.
Okay.
So.
There's just something satisfying about watching it.
All right, so make your attack roll.
Back to Diablo days.
Oh, Diablo days. I haven't thought about Diablo days in a very long time.
I play it every Friday.
We should play sometime. I actually recently
Will a
got my Diablo 2
10?
back up.
No, I only have 3.
Will a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit.
Okay.
So
They patched
your shot goes wide. Something about being on top of a moving platform makes it real difficult
bad,
for
I
you to
slipped.
hit what you're aiming for.
I feel like that should have been more.
Meyer. Anything else you want to do?
+5.
Oh, +5. Okay, 15. Will 15 hit?
15
Sorry.
does hit.
I'm pretty sure that
Okay.
would be
It's
Sorry.
It's your dexterity bonus plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh,
Plus
okay.
what you're-
I wasn't sure.
So 15 does hit.
Okay, 15 then. Okay.
So roll your damage. Roll your
A
damage.
d6 plus 3.
3 plus 3. So that's 6. 6.
6 points. Okay. So you do hear your arrow sort of ricochets off the mask of the goblin next to it and manages to get behind the mask, and it's really weird to see the arrow fletching, sticking out one side, and the point dripping gore sticking out the other side, and the goblin sort of gets wobbly on its feet, and then seems to pass out. And it is the one that you have marked,
Okay.
but it does not die. It just passes out. Tumbling its fellow to the ground.
Sploof, what do goblins sound like when they pass out?
Some of us have heard this already.
And that's the Jordan,
Will
please.
yeah. It's
Hey.
Well, that's the sound you hear. Okay. Anything else you wanted to do there, Bright?
I don't think so.
No? Mine, you're up.
Okay, so we got the one stack that just kind of fell over.
Yep.
And then behind, about 5 feet behind them, we got another stack, and another 5 feet, we got another stack.
There are a total of 5 stacks.
5 stacks.
Yes. Actually, it's only 3 stacks left, and then there are 2 goblins lying on the ground, prone, that have been knocked off of stacks. And then way back behind them, there's another lone goblin that hasn't done anything yet.
Okay, within the group,
Uh-huh.
are they within a 10-foot radius, 20-foot diameter?
Yeah.
I would like to do Shatter.
Okay.
It's a Constitution save, DC 12.
Or the rest of us in that diameter.
No. So, Constitution save, DC of 12?
Yes.
Okay, what are these guys? Okay, so this is... I'm going to make one roll for all of them.
Okay.
Huh.
A good hire.
Okay. So tell me what the effects are.
So, it's just a 3d8 thunder damage.
Roll your damage.
12, 4, 5... That would be 10.
10 points of damage.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, wow. Well done.
Well
Well
done.
played. Well played.
I don't know. Maybe the eardrum's busted and the head's gonna explode. Thank you.
All right. So
kind of like Kingsman, you know.
So so those of you who can see, there is this thunderous peal of thunder. Again, I keep using that word. There's this loud peal of thunder right in the midst of these stacks of materia, and all of a sudden, all of the heads just sort of implode, and their bodies are blasted out from like a central point, and they make goblin shrapnel all over the place.
I'm sure there's.
I pulled
You can now have a mask.
The final goblin, who is way across the clearing from you guys, who hasn't done anything, turns and runs away.
Firebolt.
Firebolt.
Roll it.
Inspiration, body
How
inspiration.
far away is that goblin from us?
He's about 60 feet away.
So that's going to be unnatural 20.
Unnatural
Oh,
20.
nice.
Okay, so that'll hit.
It's not going to be a whole lot of damage, but... wait, I think it's just 3.
You don't get to add anything to it.
I think it's
Yeah.
D8 damage.
Oh, it's a D10 actually.
It's a D10.
10.
Worse. 2 points of damage.
2 points of damage.
Just
Okay.
enough
Little
to
spark in the
singe his
butt.
butt.
So the bolt
That figure
flies
is nice,
out
comes
and
in.
it catches him in the shoulder, and he sort of stumbles. The mask falls off, and he keeps running. And he
Okay.
disappears into the he disappears into the jungle. Although you can still hear him crashing through the underbrush as it fades into the distance.
Good job, Bear. Well done.
Yay! I did that.
That's a fantastic plan there.
Alright.
Let's grab the loot and leave before they bring more.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We need to rest up.
Hang on.
Well, is there any way to reset the trap?
I'm going to go ahead and start casting Tensor's floating disc.
Could you just have your unseen servant
I'm gonna start playing my flute.
hold the trap door up?
I doubt he would be able to hold it for our weight.
Yeah. they
Just wait for
probably all
teachers
like
for
10
the
pounds.
And this isn't something we could like jump over.
I mean, it's
It's
10
10
feet.
feet.
It's possible, but
Let's not
as
risk it.
stacks, it
Yeah,
would
right
be
now,
risky.
it's not risky.
I have a climb speed.
Yeah, I also have a climb speed.
My square.
Yep. You
Yeah, sure, but do you want to just
Yeah.
hop off someone's shoulder?
But if I hop off your shoulders, will you burst into flame?
Perhaps.
There's a very
That
is
dis-
the
high possibility.
And we're all standing
Yeah.
together, so
Yes,
let's not
we're all
risk
standing.
that.
Yeah, we're all standing in the blades area. So
Some of
let's
us,
not-
a stiff breeze could kill us.
Tensors
We'll-
it is.
we'll just
Tensors
wait.
it is.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Wait.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get my flute out and play it. While we're waiting.
Okay. Make a performance roll.
Okay.
Depending on how bad it is, this may take longer.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. It's actually really, really good.
I didn't know you could play.
You've redeemed yourself from the last game.
Indeed.
Well, I didn't know you
Indeed, I
could
have.
play.
So
Just
while
keep playing the flute. That drummy thing. Leave that behind.
I woke you all up with
so
it.
while Pyre is actually doing this, I'm finally gonna address Kai.
How old is your son?
In human years or core years?
Both?
Hardcore years like dog years.
I don't know what
I don't know.
I reach into my sack and pull out an abacus. I just start. The math is very difficult for me. Hold on. And
Okay.
essentially, you don't get an answer.
Finish the dish.
How many summers have you been alive?
Summers. Leap years need to be considered here.
Do you even know how old your son is?
Of course I know.
Do you know how old
Then shave
you
the
are?
number.
Sorry.
Oh, I apologize. I go perfectly silent.
I wish I had a...
I just put my flute louder so you can't hear them.
I just really like this image, so I have to share. Samuel Campbell says, I really hope that he farted right as the firebolt hit him. You get inspiration for that, Samuel.
Yep.
You get inspiration
Yep,
for that.
yep.
Well
I'm
done. Well done.
absolutely giving you inspiration for that.
Is
Does that
the
mean that
disc
they can
out?
make any of us just re-roll?
So 10 minutes passes. The disc is up, pops into being.
So, there is one issue here. We have to go last, and we can't cross in the disc. Everybody else?
Who has rope?
I have rope.
I have rope.
I think we should all have rope.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
have
we
rope.
have all.
I have rope.
Sorry.
Or we can try jumping it. Or negotiating that ledge.
It'd be a shame to die now.
Let's
only
use,
20
all
feet.
of our rope
Yeah.
and kind of make a bit of a rope bridge, perhaps.
What about that ladder thing you made?
I can't use it. And I mean, I suppose one person could
There
hold
was
it.
your
The
building
problem
that
is
collapsed,
leaving one
correct?
person on this
Yes.
side.
That have flat boards.
Kyrie, are you on top of
I don't know. Look and see. Make an investigation roll.
You know what? We could tie a rope to you, and then you can jump, and if you don't make it, we'll pull you up.
That might
Mm,
Make an investigation roll.
How?
19.
You find a couple of longer timbers from the building that look like they might span the gap.
I grab those and bring them over.
That's a better
Are
idea.
the timbers solid?
Are they solid?
Yeah, I mean you picked the ones that looked fairly solid.
Yeah, sure.
They look like it.
We lay those across
up to you.
the trap.
Try the timber.
Well, I rolled a 16, but then I thought about how small I am.
Oh yeah, you found a 10-foot log, but you couldn't move it.
Now that
Can
we're-
I-
Elias comes by and you just have it by the. You just,
Can I help Nix move it?
I'll come over.
For purposes of this, we will say that you are all able to extricate yourself from the shrine.
So,
Great.
when we get a chance, you need to identify this jug, if you can. Can you?
Let's get back to the boats first.
Yes.
Once
Yes,
we're
you
underway.
must
And then let's just hit the river.
I am tired. I'd like to rest.
I
As,
think we all need to
as
rest.
we're walking back to the boats,
I'm
I
fine.
say, I am greatly pleased that you are taking such interest in my son.
How old do you think I am?
About his age.
That's a great question.
Alright.
Thank you.
So, Keith, we hit the river.
indeed.
Okay.
We get to the river.
So you pull the canoes out, push them into the river, and start along your merry way. So let's.
And we're still going at a fast pace.
Okay. Do go ahead and move yourself 2 hexes down the map, down the river.
Okay.
All right. And you are doing identify their pyre. or-
Yep.
Yep. It's an alchemy jug.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
What's the... That's unlimited, correct?
It is
In
limited.
what it can giveth.
What is it?
It's not
It can give you
unlimited.
I know
A
it
certain
can give,
amount per day.
I
Of
know
a
you
certain
get
type
2
of
jug
item.
uses of mayonnaise. Yes, one of
let
the
me-
one of the things about the alchemy jug is it dispenses mayonnaise.
It can dispense
Because
a bunch
it's
of random
Dungeons and
liquids.
Dragons.
Mayonnaise.
All right.
Which is
So
Water,
Hold on,
oil.
Mayo.
okay. So alchemy jug. This ceramic jug appears to hold a gallon of liquid and weighs 12 pounds, whether full or empty. Sloshing sound can be heard from within the jug when it's shaken, even if it is empty. You can use an action and name 1 liquid from the table below to cause the jug to produce the chosen liquid. Afterward, you can uncork the jug as an action and pour that liquid out, up to 2 gallons per minute. The maximum amount of liquid in the jug can produce depends on the liquid you name. Once it starts producing a liquid, it can't produce a different one or more of one that has reached its maximum until the next dawn.
We got
Acid.
more water.
8 ounces. Basic poison, half an ounce. Beer, 4 gallons. Honey, 1 gallon. Mayonnaise, 2 gallons. Oil, 1 quart.
Did you say mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mayonnaise.
mayonnaise.
1 gallon.
Oil, 1 quart. Vinegar, 2 gallons. Fresh water, 8 gallons. Salt water, 12 gallons. Wine, 1 gallon.
Who wants to carry it?
I will
Uh,
go
It
ahead
needs
and-
If we put it in the back
Carry it.
boat, then we can use it to fill as we travel.
Since
And I will have
since you
reminder of that for you guys.
since you've
next-
been
next
doing
time.
most of the water producing for us,
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
only
I
you should be
still have
in
some-
charge of carrying the alchemy jug.
We will have continuous access to mayonnaise honey sandwiches.
Ugh.
But not on the same day.
Very well done. Very well done, sir. Very well done.
Additionally, once that 10 minutes is up and I've identified it, I also want to spend 10 minutes and recast my owl.
Okay.
While you're doing this,
Your owl's so mad.
I'm gonna come up to
What the
you
heck,
and
man?
draw a piece of blue cloth.
I'm really sorry you had to kill it.
Thank you. So as soon as the bird is there, I'm just gonna go ahead and tie it around his leg.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very cool. Very cool.
So I'm not taking a watch tonight. I'm going straight to bed.
Well, do you really want me taking watch?
I will take watch.
I will take the third watch.
I'll take the third or the last watch.
I'll
Okay.
go first.
I trust you.
I have to
remember
go.
what to
So.
We need me for watch.
I'm lying.
Hi, Brett. It's
Class.
nice knowing you.
Plus
Class is
And
important.
Yeah, you have class.
4. Oh wait.
Not
Plus,
much
I
longer.
only have like
Not much
2 more
longer.
classes.
Not much longer.
So.
Close.
So
You can do it.
You got this.
You get this.
Love you, Kyrie.
Love you.
Go kick butt.
Everybody who's watching, feel free to follow. She is Griffin XX Demon, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Griffin XX
Griffin.
Demon.
XX
And she
Demon.
does creative. We both stream creative. I am Lord Scritch the Goodly. You can check me out in chat. She's Griffin XX Demon, so feel free to show her some love on her
Yeah,
stream.
give her some love, guys. Give her some guys.
Bye.
Kyria.
Kick classes, but
Yeah.
So you said first watch?
So,
Yep.
So it's you and I.
so first watch.
First watch.
First watch.
Don't die.
Who else?
Don't get distracted.
Who else is on first watch?
Don't get.
let's see.
I don't think we can
I think it's just me and Fire.
It depends who
Just
it
the
is.
two of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want
I
to
can
roll
do
separately,
watch.
or do you want one person to do?
If you want to go ahead and roll it, I'll just help.
Okay.
So you will have advantage on the roll.
What, perception?
What's that?
Perception.
Perception. Yeah.
So sorry.
That was really nice.
Have a good night. Chilly.
That's pretty good.
It is cold.
Unnat 20.
Unnatural 20. Very nice.
I've gotten a lot of those today.
Yeah.
What is your favorite drink? Or favorite food, in fact?
Red meat.
That's a weird one.
Really?
Give it a taste. No, it's liquid.
Oh, it's liquid. Oh, it's liquid.
Red meat.
Wow. I'm impressed.
You invented beef bouillon.
I'd like to point out that he didn't specify that it was cooked.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm a dwarf. That's all I'm saying, right?
I mean,
It's
That would be less
blood.
So over the course of your first watch, the rain is still sort of off and on. You know, coming down 1 hour, then not the next. You are starting to see, there are breaks in the clouds. The moon is edging towards the first quarter.
Rain catchers are out.
Yeah, rain catchers are out. You'll pick up a couple of gallons just from the rain catchers over the course of your watch. The sounds of the jungles do start to invade, and every so often, off in the distance, you fancy you might hear war drums, but they're far enough away that you don't think that they're going to be a danger at all.
Okay.
We all look towards Kyrie.
Mine's
She's
just
playing
Gloria.
How much did we decide that we can boil enough water every day to cover everybody's water needs?
I don't
No,
think
we
so.
could.
Yeah,
well, we
it
could only
was
do-
it was short just a little bit, but not by much, and mostly
It
you've
was
been
like-
making it up with rain.
Yeah, we were
How
short 3 gallons
3 gallons.
It was
a day.
But we
3
now
gallons
got
a
a magic
day.
jug.
It was 3 gallons in the morning and 3 gallons at night, correct? And then it was.
And we get how many gallons from the rain catchers this night?
Two for the first watch.
Then factor in now the alchemy jug, which can give us 8
Well,
a
we
day
don't want to factor that in
If
until
we use it.
Yeah.
if we use it.
We need
might
to
want
schedule out which days we use the alchemy jug and just
Celebrate with beer.
celebrate the beer. Yes.
Beer, wine, whatever.
Okay, so first watch passes by uneventfully. Who's on second?
Ready.
I'll be on second.
I'll help.
I don't care who's on second. I want to know who's on first.
All right, so again, you've got the choice. You can either roll individually, or you can assist each other and have
Do you want to?
and have.
What's your perception?
Mine is negative, so
Please assist
I'm gonna
me.
assist you. Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, mine is +4. I'm proficient in it. That's great. Oh, 18.
18. Okay. So over the course of the evening, Sploof is regaling you with his plans for world domination and how each of you will have
Actually, it's going to be a 23.
23.
I
Okay.
forgot he assisted me.
Regales you with the stories of world domination and which part each of you minions will play in his global domination empire.
I see.
You're able for the most part to sort of tune that out and can keep a close watch on things around the camp. During the course of your
So the way Sploof assists me is to annoy me into being more vigilant.
basically. So during the course of your watch, you do see the clouds part, and the moon is almost that perfect half circle of its first quarter, and you do see shapes sort of floating by on the sluggish river. From your experience in the jungles, they have an awful lot in common with crocodiles, but they pass by either not noticing you or ignoring you.
Okay.
There are sounds. The sounds of the jungle are alive around you. Sounds that you've come to know fairly well through
As a tickle belly nomad.
but besides that, yes, but you
But also through staying.
through being in the jungle for as long as you have. They're familiar, they're comforting sounds. They are not the sounds of danger.
Okay.
Second watch passes uneventfully. Third watch.
Me.
Okay. And again, you have the choice. Are you
your
assisting each
perception.
other or
I got a +3,
Okay, I'll assist you.
okay?
and we go down a hit point, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It is
Yes,
day
at this
14.
point it passes midnight. It is down 14.
We are literally 2 weeks into the death curse.
Oh gosh.
Not doing half bad considering.
Yeah. But man,
Better level
we
soon.
need to, we got a level or we're gonna die.
I was kind of hoping my
Had it
character
not
would
been
die.
that dex save, Sploof would be gone.
That was
good.
close. That was close.
That'll be
insane.
17.
18.
17.
No, yeah, 18. My bad.
18? Okay. The rain has passed. The clouds have parted. You're starting to see the sun, or not the sun, but you're starting to see the stars above the jungle. The moon is hanging there, brilliantly lighting up the area around you. The jungle is lively with the night animals that you would expect to hear. You do hear at one point heavy footfalls in the jungle as something presses through the jungle, but it passes on by the campsite and doesn't seem to pay you much attention. Sounded like it was 4 feet, not just 2, so you kind of felt okay even with it as loud and as close as it seemed to be. Couldn't see anything, couldn't see any movement out there, but you never felt like you were in any kind of danger. Third watch passes uneventfully, and dawn breaks.
Yay.
And we will pick up there next time, at which point you can all level up.
Yay! We get to live at least 6 to 8 or
Yeah.
6 to 10 more days.
13
Oh, 13.
What?
Wow, look at you.
maximum.
So yeah, I almost killed you.
Hey,
Yeah,
oh,
D10 plus
oh,
3.
God. Keith, before we turn off the stream, do you mind shouting out Handycam?
Sure, go right ahead.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so guys, check out Handycam. That's my YouTube
channel, and we're playing a high fantasy pirate game on there. We're having some scheduling conflict. I would like to do once a week, but it may end up being less than that. But yeah, if you like pirates and you like fantasy, come check out the pirate game on Handycam,
Can you find me
my YouTube channel.
Can you find me somebody to raid?
Oh, somebody to raid. Looking for a raid, yeah.
So we're gonna do something we haven't done yet. We're going to see if we can't find another D&D channel to raid tonight. Woo! So if you guys hang on with us, we're gonna figure out how to do this.
I guess while we wait,
It might be worth mentioning what rating is. I know.
Oh yeah.
I have 2 or 3 people who don't have any idea what that is.
So
I
rating, we take all of our viewers, all of you guys out there on the stream, and we drop in unannounced or maybe announced on somebody else's stream to sort of boost their numbers up a little bit, and hopefully they will return the favor and come see what we are all about next time. Speaking of next time, let me make sure that our weekly schedule is indeed our weekly schedule again, at least for a little bit. Those of you who follow us at all know that my work schedule, it gets a little crazy, a little hectic. I believe, though, in this case, we will be back on Tuesday night, same night as this week. Once again, it's 5:30 Mountain Time. We're back on Standard Time now, so 5:30 Mountain Time. You guys do the math for whatever time zone you happen to be in. Yes, so next week we will be same day of the week, and we should be able to further these adventures as per our normal schedule.
By the way, guys, that's Handycam with an I, like handicap.
So who are we?
going to share the
Yeah,
link
share the link in the.
shortly
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
description.
I'll keep you for just a second. So
Yeah.
you can-
It's spelled like handicap, but Handycam. I don't know why I did that stupid name. Brayden! I'm on the opposite side of the road. Why did you do that, Brayden? We talked
We can't
about
take
this.
these people anywhere. Can't take them anywhere. Not even into the jungles of Schultz.
Your cup is still intact.
I didn't sound like it broke. I'm impressed.
Well, I guess while we're waiting for someone
Okay,
to
so
raid.
do we have a?
I apologize.
Yes,
Yeah, we've got it
I
up.
posted.
So the link is in the chat.
We're gonna
so
see if I can
Handycam
do
is
this.
in there. So our raid is gonna be "Cause I'm Dan Jones." It's another D&D group.
Okay, so
nobody that we follow is going
Spell that
right
for me.
now. It's cause like because I'm Dan Jones, but each thing is capitalized.
Dan
Jones.
Dan Jones.
Dan Jones, yes. Cause I'm Dan Jones.
Like
Okay.
cause or like CUZ?
No, CAUSE, yes.
Okay. Well,
Cause
we're gonna try this and see if this works, and hopefully it does. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, guys.
I can't attest to the quality of their stream, but they're, I'm sure, very lovely people. We're just gonna random raid today.
Random raid.
All right, here we go.
5 readers.
3, 2, bye.
Bye.
Let's see.
And unfortunately, I don't have anything.
Too many voices.
Oh.
So what's everyone
Oh, that's
planning on
pretty
doing
good.
for level 4?
What's everyone doing?
Intelligence?
I was thinking